Out of the ice, everybody. We are back. So I'm trying something different. I'm going to try to do a dynamic compressor in post on this to try to get our voices to be a little bit equal, because I know that Kat drowns out.
Yeah, I'm just a very quiet... I try to project.
Which, funny enough, right now, it actually looks like you're louder.
That's amazing. But I'm trying to be more conscious of that too. But I think I'm getting a little bit better, but it's still not enough.
Because in OBS, which we record our gameplay videos at Kingdom of Geek Along on YouTube, we use a dynamic compressor as an effect on that for our microphone, and it's been working pretty well. I don't think anything that used that is up yet, but I can tell in the recording that it'll be better.
But anyway, you're not here to listen to us talk about compressor. You can hear Kat better now. Yay. What movie we watching this time, Scott?
Well, it's Christmas time.
Oh yeah, it is. It's at the time of recording, it's not December, but
it's Christmas time. It's after Thanksgiving.
You're right.
So it's Christmas time.
We have the Christmas tree up. We bought lights.
Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking we need some Christmas movies.
Okay, so...
last time we watched Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and something else that I don't remember. I think actually the December ones might have been Pocahontas and Rudolph.
Yeah, I think we... Yeah,
because we started after Thanksgiving.
Uh-huh. So that was our quote-unquote Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah, and so I was thinking this time, because poor Kat spent years in retail on Christmas.
I still hold some bitter feelings towards it. I have to really ground myself when we went Christmas shopping. I really had to keep myself in our bubble, because just seeing all these people in the stores shopping was just making me angry.
Yeah.
And I'm a part of the problem now.
Well, no, you're not a part of the problem until you start treating people like shit.
You're right, yeah.
So I'm thinking we need some movies that, while still hold true to the themes of most Christmas movies, we need something that kind of subverts them too, Now, obviously, what we could do is Die Hard, which subverts things a lot. It's an action movie and a Christmas.
My poor dad, I told Dad that we were going to watch Die Hard, and he is and he was like, I can't wait for you to rip apart the movie, because when you're done watching it, I want to rip it apart with you.
Yeah, so we're going to be watching Die Hard. And we're trying to figure out which is the second movie we should do.
Yeah.
Home Alone or The Santa Claus? I
feel like Home Alone is as I never even heard of the Santa Claus, but Home Alone, I feel like, at the very least I've heard of it in passing. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's more of a...
Oh, the Santa Claus, early 2000s, you couldn't get away from the Santa Claus at Christmas time. Mm. That must have been when you were peak ostrich, just head in the sand. Because they played it all the goddamn time on every single channel, constantly. There was sequels, every couple years.
Yeah, I missed all of that.
But either way, Die Hard. Bruce Willis movie.
Yes.
Christmas movie. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, it's a Christmas movie. It takes place on Christmas. It has Christmas music in it. There's tree. It ends with it snowing, though partially some of that is ash from the building burning down. And it's got the dad from Family Matters. It's a Christmas movie. It literally ends with the song Let It Snow. So...
Okay. At that point, I'm like, yeah, this is a Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas movie. So what do you know about Die Hard? Because apparently your dad doesn't like it.
Yeah, my dad, at the very least, he said he thought it was silly. I guess there's a part where, the guy's leg, gets really fucked up, but he's still going out there and doing this badass shit.
No, not his leg.
Not his leg?
His feet.
His feet, okay.
And they address that.
Okay.
And also, first off, your dad is wrong. I'm sorry, but your dad is wrong, because it actually does a very good job of illustrating that this dude is beat to shit. Yeah,
I'll have to talk to him about this during Christmas.
Yeah.
But I know that much. I know it's a Christmas movie. I know it's Jake Peralta from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's his favorite movie, the main character.
That makes sense.
He's always so obsessed. He's obsessed with I want to work something that's exactly like Die Hard. And then there's an episode where it's literally just Die Hard.
Yeah, that reminds me of Hot Fuzz, which is made by the guys who made Shaun of the Dead. Mm-hmm. And that's like the second part of the Cornetto trilogy, where it's like a parody / tribute to a bunch of cop movies.
Okay.
And the sidekick is just like obsessed with American cop movies. He's like, this is what being a good cop is.
But otherwise, all I really know, Dad hates it, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and it's a Christmas action movie.
Professor Snape is in it.
You're shitting me.
He's the bad guy.
I didn't know that.
He's the bad guy.
Oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah. So
I'm in.
Let's just jump right into it. This is the part where if you haven't seen the movie, go ahead and watch it in this interlude. Bye-bye.
When we first met John McClain, Argyle picked him up from the plane and took him down the Nakatomi Tower to meet with Holly. He came to get her back and to be her man, but Hans and his buddies fucked up the plan, and that's about when everything went sour at the Christmas party. And the terrorists were overzealous, but it was sweet when they killed Ellis. And with a little help from Alan, John McClain kicked ass. We're gonna die hard.
All right. Hello, everyone. We are back. We just got done watching Die Hard.
Oh my god. Before we get into my opinion of the movie and how I felt about it, I just was thinking, I always like when they adapt from different material, because maybe it's just the school nerd in me, but I love comparing and contrasting, the two different movies, the movie to the book, because it's very, very different. I was looking a little into it before we started recording this.
Yeah, the only thing I know about it is that apparently the book is a sequel to another book that was a Frank Sinatra movie, and the dude wrote the second book to become a sequel to the Frank Sinatra movie with Frank Sinatra, but then that didn't happen, and it became Die Hard.
Yeah, pretty much. So first things first, they completely changed the name of the character. The main character's name was Joe Leland.
Yeah, and again, that's to not have it be a sequel to the...
Yeah. Han Gruber was Antoine Gruber in the book.
Antoine Gruber.
And his intentions were like actually a little, not noble in the way that terrorists think they are, because they actually were trying to bust corruption of a big corporation.
So they were terrorists instead of just bank robbers posing as terrorists.
Yep.
Honestly, I like the joke more.
Yeah. Takagi, the Holly's boss.
Yeah.
It's just a regular, his name is Mr. River. He dies the same way, though. And Carl still makes an appearance at the end, too. Al's a lot younger in the book. He's only 22. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if anyone ever wants to read the book, but the ending's a lot different. Oh, and Holly isn't a character. It's
it's his daughter. Yeah.
So it was different, and I'm like, part of me wants to read this, but the ending is depressing as fuck. So I'm not like, no.
I do remember that. Apparently, the ending is a real fucking downer.
Yeah, I'm like, give me some bitter. I can stomach bittersweet, but not depressing or bitter.
Yeah. But so this isn't about the book. This is about the Christmas movie.
The one, oh my god, at the jingle bells throughout the movie just fucking killed me.
Every piece of the soundtrack, including the action bits, somewhere in the background you can just hear shing 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 of jingle bells.
They were really into the subtle little things. So I was thinking about this because I think because you were pointing out he was doing coke right then and there. Like I would have missed that the first time around. Like I feel like this is definitely a movie if I were to watch it a few more times and be like, oh, it'd be easy for me to pick up on stuff. And I love movies like that. But as far as, and I was thinking about the main actors too, because Bruce Willis, I'm like, I know that name. It's a famous actor name, obviously. And I was looking through the movies and I'm like,
Moonlighting, Sixth Sense.
I'm like, I've never seen any of these.
Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Die Harder, Die Hard 3, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
And and I was trying to look at a picture to help. At first, I looked at a picture to help me try to remember, and my Survivor brain immediately went like, he looks kind of like Tony from Survivor Cagayan.
I don't know what that means, but it makes me angry. Survivor is a shit show. So the movie starts off in an airplane, basically. Like we see shots of LA airport and then the airplane, and just
a cop casually has a gun in his pockets.
Well, at first we don't know he's a cop.
Well,
There's just, dude kind of wringing his hands, all this stuff. And it's like, well, nervous flyer, which they're touching down. So, now's the wrong time to ask about that. But, it's like nervous flyer. And it's like, well, actually, no, I think the first time it basically, skips the whole flight, but it shows the beginning and ends of it. But, it's like, nervous flyer? Yeah, just don't really go on airplanes that much. You'll be okay. And here's a tip. When you get off the plane and you start experiencing jet lag, take your shoes off, and just make fists with your feet on the carpet. I have tried this. It works.
Seriously?
I did it when we went to Disneyland.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, while we were just kind of after the plane, I was actually doing that, and it did work. It helped.
Okay, well, when we go to Disney again, I'll have to try that.
It wasn't the best because it was very thin carpet, but yeah, it worked.
Yeah, so that's good to know.
It also might have been not as good because I still had my socks on. Because I'm not a fucking heathen.
Yeah. I thought it was just one more note about the book. I thought it was funny because the book description did mention, yes, he still had to do everything barefoot in the book too.
Honestly, it's a great aspect of the character's journey. Just because a lot of people wouldn't think about that, how
much that would fucking blow.
Yeah, how much that changes everything that's in every set dressing. Anything that's sharp now sucks twice as much. I would
even go as far as 5 times as much.
Yeah,
because that shit hurts.
Yeah, but so he gets off the plane, meets Argyle, the limo driver.
Cool dude.
Argyle, I'm the limo driver.
Okay. Argyle, what do we do now?
I was hoping you could tell me. It's my first time driving a limo.
It's okay. It's my first time riding in one.
And so they go there and some, basically I don't know if it would be hip hop or rap. To me, it sounded more like rap.
It kind of gave me a hip hop-ish vibe.
Yeah, but it was definitely, it was leaning towards actual rap of basically a retelling of Silent Night.
Yeah.
Or is it Silent Night or Night Before Christmas? That's what it was. License and the name said Santa Claus.
And something else I thought was funny that you pointed out is look at that smog.
Yeah, a lot of the LA things because it was
filmed on site in LA.
Yeah, it was filmed on site in LA in the early to mid 80s.
The movie came out in 1988.
Yeah. Okay, so late 80s. Yeah. But I guess 90s and early 2000s was when they really started getting a handle on the smog problem. So still very smoggy in LA because I've seen footage of recent LA and it looks a lot better. Still a little bit meh in some places. Air quality could still use some work. It's a long process and hard to do once you fucked up that much. But it's getting there. But yeah, so just it's very funny. It's like Christmas. It's just smog.
I like the movie just reminds you at certain intervals. Yeah, this is taking place during Christmas.
A lot of intervals.
Yeah.
Especially if you put the music into play. But then he goes to the Nakatomi Plaza building and tries to look up his wife on the touchpad. Back when that was a novelty. And cute toy. and tries looking up for Holly McClain, doesn't find her, tries the maiden name, Gennaro, finds it, and he's like, fuck. Because he's from Brooklyn, or like New York. I think specifically Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But, so he's, you know, an old style, hard ass cop who's very traditional in things. But the cool thing about John is that as the movie goes on, he realizes, man, I was a dick earlier.
Like he even starts getting that like immediately, like in his first actual scene with Holly.
Yeah, they get into a fight, triggered by that last name and the fact that Ellis is trying to fuck her.
Ellis is but I loved Holly's attitude. It's like basically at the end of the day, it's really just a name. I'm doing this for the betterment of myself. That doesn't change anything about how I feel about you.
The kids.
Yeah. And it's not like it changed anything between how she actually feels about him. So it just, that made me frustrated. I'm like, you go, girl, you go.
Yeah. I mean, I can see both sides because, like, we don't know exactly. Well, maybe we do, but it was said, like, at the very beginning, so I'm not exactly sure on the time. But they've been separated by distance for a bit. That's a strain on their relationship. She took the kids out there, so he hasn't gotten to see his kids.
Yeah.
You know, like, but they're not actually separated. He's trying to make it work, and he just got off of a plane. Tensions are high. I can see how he would snap. Doesn't make it right, but I could see it.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, it doesn't make it right. It makes it understandable in the moment.
Mm-hmm. And he's still a good dude because again, right after he's
right
like,
when she leaves, he's just thunk against the wall with his head. Good job, John. Real mature. Yeah. When are we getting Bruce Willis into a Marvel movie? We've gotten Keaton.
Who do you think he'd play?
Rhino.
Ryan. Oh my! I just at the time of recording, the new Spider-Man Miles Morales game is out, and Scott gave me a little glimpse of the beginning of the game.
I want to see Bruce Willis as Alexei the Rhino doing a Russian impression.
That does sound great.
Especially because like I don't know how well he would do it. Not because I don't think he's a talented actor, but because he has a very distinctive voice.
Oh yeah.
You know. It's kind of like Jack Nicholson. Like if Jack Nicholson tried to do a Russian accent, you'd be like, yeah, that's Jack Nicholson trying to do a Russian accent.
It is kind of neat that, there are two main stars. They kind of have their own very distinct voice.
Yes.
But I'll get more into our other one when he makes his appearance.
So as the party's going on, it's Christmas party, you know, all that stuff. Some people show up to the Nakatomi Plaza and just shoot the fucking head doorman dead.
Yeah.
You know, they start setting up. They're being very casual with the murder.
Yeah, I'm like, oh no, they've done this before.
Yeah, lots of times. And in pops Professor Snape.
Mr. Alan Rickman, a.k.a. Hans Gruber.
Hello there, Mr. Policeman.
Oh my... Very, very distinct voice.
Just another American who watched too many movies as a child who thinks he's John Wayne.
I saw on this Wikipedia, I would have to look at it again, but I guess he got that because he had that, like he speaks in that manner because of a jaw issue he had as a child.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know he is European, right? I think English.
Shit, I don't remember. Let me see.
I think he is. I'm pretty sure, like.
Yeah, he was born in London.
Yeah. I'm like, he was in Harry Potter, and I'm pretty sure most of those people who weren't extras, they were like, let's get an English guy.
Yeah, Rickman's signature sound was the result of a speech impediment when he could not move his lower jaw properly as a child.
Well, that sucks. But hey, it made a neat voice.
Very, very much so.
Mr. Potter.
It was weird because, like, again, I only see him as Professor Snape, so seeing him in another role and playing it so well, I'm like, oh my god, I'm in love with this guy now.
Yeah. And it's like, it's weird too, because like you see that and then you see Professor Snape where like clearly his face looks a little bit older, but also he's clean shaven. So like he looks different, but not really older.
Yeah, it was a bit of a mind fuck throughout the whole movie, honestly. Like, I'm like, where is Snape in this? What?
I love Hans Gruber way more than Snape. I'm sorry.
He is so.
Because I feel like Hans Gruber allowed him to have a little bit more fucking fun with it. You know, Snape is a stick in the mud, dude.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. Like, he was able to play. Hans is he's a professional. He knows how to do this, but he was just kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of scummy.
Yeah.
But was still able to come off as very charismatic while being a total scummy piece of shit.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so they're setting all this up, and like, you know, they cut the phone lines right as John McClain is. I was about to just say Bruce Willis, but like right as John McClain is calling Argyle to be like, hey, I might be reconciling here if I cannot fuck up. But the phone line goes dead. So then, like, very soon after that, John's being like, what the fuck is going on? And then all of a sudden, shots are fired.
Pew, pew, pew.
And so he makes an escape. A distraction happens because two coworkers are drunkenly fucking in the next office over.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess it's a married dude and his secretary because 80s. Well, it actually doesn't really need to be any decade, does it?
This whole business party was wild.
Yeah.
There was Alice doing coke. There, while Holly and John are having the conversation in the bathroom, that couple like kind of comes in, obviously ready to do something, and then they're like, "Oh wait, shit," and leave. Yep.
And then so he manages to get out of there, goes up the stairwell, sees that they have remote detonated missiles. Goes up further, sees construction, goes up further, computers, and he's like, what the fuck? One level of construction, next fully completed computers. But he finally gets up to, I think, the 35th floor?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, which is also under construction. He rings a fire alarm to try to get back up. And another very fun line. It's like, come on, you beautiful bastards. Bring that truck over here. I'll kiss your Dalmatian.
Oh, God. John was so fun.
But they call it off, claiming that it was a mistake from the construction. Ooh. So they turn around and he's like, fuck, no. Meanwhile, the elevator dings. And Carl's brother, whose name I forget,
from what the book said, it was Tony.
He comes up, and he's got a machine gun, and he starts firing away at sounds that John's making to distract him, and then puts a gun to the dude's back, and is like, you know, you're under arrest, asshole, I'm a cop. You're not going to shoot me, you're a police officer. Police have rules. Yeah, that's what my boss keeps telling me. There's a fight. It goes into the stairwell. They both fall down the stairs, and John falls on top of the dude, and his neck breaks.
Yeesh.
And you just hear, ah!
Yeah.
And John kind of is like, oh, fuck. It's this kind of police adventure. I'm going to have to do so much murder.
Oh.
Tries to put the dude's shoes on, but he's like 5 sizes too small.
He's kind of like, it's like 2 sizes smaller than my sister's.
Mm-hmm. And surprisingly, I don't think we've ever seen McClain's sister in any of the sequels. I feel like that'd be fun.
Yeah.
You know, like if his sister's also a badass.
A badass.
Because we've seen in the sequels that his daughter is a badass, his son is a badass.
Oh, that's good.
His daughter, like, Live Free or Die Hard, his daughter gets taken, and it's very much like Taken. Mm-hmm. But something that's kind of cool is that there's one part where, you know, she's acting like she's all afraid and stuff. And it's like, here, would you like to speak to your daughter, McClain? And it's like, Daddy? After the guy you just killed, there's only 4 of them. And I'm like, yeah!
Holy shit.
Good on you, girl!
That's awesome.
Fearless. And I think he just goes, "Thanks for the info, sweetheart. I'm on my way." Click. So I think it'd be funny if it's like, oh, you know, it'd be good.
What?
If it turned out that his sister, to portray that, they got Jamie Lee Curtis. So it's just Jamie Lee and Bruce Willis kicking ass.
I will subscribe to this content.
Yeah. That'd be really fun, I think.
Just a family of badasses.
Yeah, but
this Brooklyn this we think Brooklyn cop is just none of this bullshit.
Yeah, and so he literally paints, I think, with the dude's blood.
Yes, that's
or no, it might have been Sharpie. I don't remember. I can't remember if it was black or red. But on his sweater, he puts,
"Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho."
Ooh.
And so now Holly immediately is like, all right, that's John.
Oh,
and,
oh boy.
And
now the terrorists, they're
they know that somebody's there's a fly in the ointment.
Yep, something. They gotta watch their toes now.
Mm-hmm. Something else that I liked, that this happened earlier before he rung the fire alarm. Actually, he witnesses Takagi getting murdered.
Oh yeah, and he's
and as a cop, he's kind of ripped up by that
because he's like,
he couldn't do anything. It's like, why didn't you stop him, John? Because then you'd be dead too, asshole.
Oh god.
And I love the thought of that, where it's like, you know, yeah, he's a cop, he wants to protect people, and he couldn't.
The way that John vocalizes his thoughts throughout the whole movie is so good.
Come out to the coast. We'll get together. Have a few laughs.
Oh god, I'm trying to think what happened after that. So we had the elevator.
The elevator happens, and
every now and then we get a shot of Argyle just being chill as fuck.
Yeah. And I think that Carl and another dude, well, first off, John is actually on top of the elevator when they're doing this, getting intel, like writing the names on his arm with a Sharpie. So I think it was Sharpie that he wrote the thing on. And but he's doing that, and goes back up as the elevators go, and basically just starts, you know, trying to figure out the layout of the building so that he's got an edge, and you know, starts setting things up and all this other stuff. And two other guys come there onto the roof, and then Carl shows up also on the roof, and they're all just kind of shooting at him. He has to duck into another place and go into the air ducts, and that's when he's like, "Come to LA, have a few laughs." So then they try to find him in the vents, but luckily they get called off, like right as he's getting his pistol ready to shoot the dude through the duct.
Yeah, oof.
And then I believe he's got a walkie-talkie.
Did he? I think he got it off of
He got it off the dude, but then I think he uses it. No, okay, this is what happened. He uses the walkie-talkie.
Mayday, mayday. Anyone copying Channel 9? Terrorists have seized the Nakatomi building and are holding at least 30 people hostage. I repeat, unknown number of terrorists, 6 or more, armed with automatic weapons at Nakatomi Plaza, Century City.
Hans intercepts it with the walkie-talkie, goes, where would be the best place to try to find a signal? The roof. He's on the roof. And that's when they get to the roof. And because of the false fire alarm, they're like,
"Attention, whoever you are, this channel is reserved for emergency calls only."
No fucking shit, lady! Do I sound like I'm ordering a pizza?
I was so frustrated during this whole time. I'm like, listen to the poor man. I mean, I understand you're following procedure, but
yeah,
like...
fucking California. And so then they hear the gunshots go off, and they're like, okay, I guess send a cruiser. You know, still seem pretty fucking disinterested in it, even though fucking gunshots have been heard. Specifically machine gun fire. And so that's when Al gets in there, and he's like he's just getting a bunch of fucking Hostess fruitcakes like a boss.
But yeah, And this whole scene where John sees Al just kind of circling around.
Yeah.
I was yelling at the TV like, start shooting your gun.
Well, he does something better.
He did do something better.
You know, he starts to break the glass with a chair, and some guys find him. He ducks under the table after shooting one of them. And then the guy starts boasting. It's like, next time you're going to shoot someone, don't hesitate. And he just goes, okay, bang, 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 through the table. And it's just like, thanks for the advice, shithead.
And then just kind of alley-ooped him out the...
alley-oops him out the window as Al's driving off.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Police with automatic rifle fire in Nakatomi. I need backup assistance now. No, goddammit, now!
Fucking dead guy through the windshield. That gets everybody in there. And Hans is like, well, shit. All right, we can work with this. But he starts talking to John through the walkie-talkie. And I was like, and basically tries to start cold reading him. You know, it's like, you have a lot of dedication for a security guard. Sorry, Hans, that's wrong. Do you want to try to go for double jeopardy? Then who are you? It's a cop? Or maybe just another American who watched too many cowboy movies as a child? Yeah.
Such a good performance.
It's like, you can call me Roy.
Call me Roy, because he was listing off all of his favorite action movies.
Roy Rogers, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I was always more a fan of Roy Rogers. Loved the sequin shirts. Which honestly is kind of good for an 80s action hero to say, because usually you'd think they'd be trying to stay away from anything sequenced or not stereotypically manly. So again, a little bit of character depth there that you don't normally see in more schlocky ones. But so he's like, all right, I'm Roy now. And meanwhile, Holly is trying to take charge and being like, hey, listen, we need this, we need this, we need this, or you're going to have a mess on your hands. And it's like, okay, who the fuck are you and who put you in charge? You did when you
killed
murdered my boss.
boss.
Yeah, you murdered my boss, dickhead. So now I'm the boss. Listen to me. I am the captain now. And so Hans is like, oh, okay, a badass bitch over here.
Badassness just runs in the family.
Yeah. Both the McClains and the Gennaros.
Yep.
But that also would have been fun if we ever got a thing where Holly was the main character.
Yeah,
if John got captured and Holly had to then step up and be like, okay, I guess I need to use what John taught me.
I mean, she's very clearly like self-motivated. She's willing to work through whatever issue she needs to do, even if it may not make others happy. Cough, the last name cough.
Yeah.
I think she could do a good job with a little more like action hero training.
Yeah. And so trying to think what else happens. So he does that. Al gets in contact with him. Actually, Al gets in contact with him first, and then Hans intercepts the call. Then the rest of the police force shows up, and the fucking dude in charge is like, Sergeant, what the fuck? You don't even know what you're doing. Loose cannon. And basically, I like how every other cop that's not Al and the feds are just parodies of the systems.
Yeah. Oh my god. I was thinking back to like
they're shooting out the lights.
And I was thinking about it. I'm like, the FBI has to show. I was able to call that the FBI was going to show up at one point, because I did remember in the Brooklyn Nine-Nine episode, there's an FBI agent that 9-9 calls the Vulture, because he always comes in and takes all their best cases, and he kind of boasts about it.
Yeah, I've seen that in earlier episodes.
Yeah, so the Vulture pops up, and Jake's like, oh, no.
Yeah. Because and like I think by that point that was already a trope of like who's in charge here, not anymore.
Yeah.
And they say that directly in this. So I'm pretty sure that was intentional parody.
Oh yeah.
And so they're doing all that down there. Meanwhile, John, what happens next? Is that when Ellis?
No, I feel like this was later in the movie.
Yeah, I think it was later in the movie. The thing is, a lot of Die Hard is like character building or action set pieces, and the story just kind of goes through those, right?
Yeah,
like there's a storyline, but it's being like paddled along the plot river by the characters and the scenes.
Because I feel like at this point in the movie, we just hit a lot of conversations and slower scenes.
Yeah,
so.
I do know that there is a talk of, like there's stuff going on about the heist, like the progress that they're on with that. And the dude says like, this, the last lock's out of my hands. And all that stuff, it's electronic lock. It's like, so you're going to need a miracle. And Han just goes, it's Christmas. It's the season of miracles. Which I always loved that line. Then at a certain point...
the police try to bust through.
And they just get absolutely fucked.
They just get wrecked.
Yeah, they get wrecked. They get fucked. And John tries to call Hans off. It's like, Hans, goddammit, you made your point. Like, let him leave. Sorry, Mr. Cowboy, but you are not in control of this situation, Mr. Potter.
And people, like, in the background, the press is trying to figure out all this information, being even scummier than the villains, to be honest.
And or was it Ellis? It might have been Ellis that told him.
I completely forgot about Ellis.
Yeah, it was Ellis. Because Holly is like, what the fuck are you doing, Ellis? It's like, I'm gonna go save us from your fucking husband.
Oh my god.
And like, to his degree, didn't give away Holly, so at least he wasn't that stupid. But so Ellis is on the line on the walkie-talkie, and that's how he gets John McClain. And then the news and the cops overhear that, then the cops are like, oh, pull out everything you know on John McClain, and the news is like, get out, it's everything you know on John McClain. And so Al is just kind of witness to the audio here, but and so is his boss, the blah 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 guy, and basically it's like, Ellis,
what have you told him?
I told him we were old friends and you were my guest at the party.
Ellis, you shouldn't be doing this.
No.
And it's like,
all right, John, listen. They want the detonators or they're gonna kill me.
And it's like, Hans, Ellis doesn't know the kind of person you are, but I do.
Hans, this asshole is not my friend. I just met him tonight. I don't know him. Jesus Christ, Ellis, these people are gonna kill you. Tell them you don't know me.
John, how can you say that after all these years, huh?
Bang! And so,
it's kind of the same situation. There was no win in that scene.
Yeah.
Same with the boss earlier. Because the second, basically...
Ellis is dead, so there's one win.
Yeah, but like, I mean how John felt about that.
Yeah.
But like, kind of the same way, because both the boss and Ellis, like, there was going to be no win in that, because once they admitted, like, hey, I don't have the information you're looking for, or I'm no useful.
Useless. Bang. But, at least Ellis got a drink of Coca-Cola before he went.
Yeah.
That's decent.
Yeah. They could be worse villains.
Yeah. He had both types of Coke in this movie, I just realized. Huh.
His scene is introduced with him snorting coke, ends with him sipping coke.
Yeah. The boss is like, he just let him die, man. He just basically pulled the trigger himself. And Al is just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Have you ever been in the field? The fuck, man? Like, he tried everything. If he had given himself away, they'd both be dead. Nah, they'd both be down here with us. No, that's not what's
I
happening
felt
here.
so bad for Al the entire time.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, I feel like by the end, the dude is like, man, yeah, Al was right about everything. I don't know how to do my job. You know, because like they all think that this is a terrorist scheme. You know, like even Takagi thought that.
Yeah,
and Hans is just like, who said we were terrorists?
Yeah, they were pulling up because I mean he had some connections with an organization previously.
Yes.
But in the news were able to get that like no, we cut ties with them.
Yeah, and I'm honestly wondering if Hans was in that group just a little bit, just to give himself an alibi, to help him with the, you know,
Robberies.
Yeah, to help him with the robbery.
You know, that would make sense.
Yeah, because that's always how I kind of saw it. Like that was part of the long con.
Yeah, because he only ever like even like later when he's like giving his demands, like he's listing
I read
off
about them in Time magazine.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like he only just did his research. He wasn't
Yeah.
really a committed member, if at all.
Yeah, and so Hans actually shows up to where John's like sort of HQ is in this building, and is calling himself Bell Clay.
I mean, that was kind of a clever move, but like to be fair, John was way smarter.
Yeah. At the very least, he was just, you know, appropriately cautious.
Yes.
And that's the thing that I was interested in, because you said that he spoke that way because of a speech impediment, but he was able to turn it off.
Yeah.
Like, so that's interesting. So I guess that the what we would think of as the accent is his normal one, and then the one that was without that was him being careful to put on an accent without it. Interesting.
Yeah. But like he played like the scared office employee.
Oh God, you're
played
one
well.
of them.
Like he was really trying to sell it.
Yeah.
I love how it's like click, oops.
I'm going to count to 3.
Yeah. Like you did with Takagi. Oops. No bullets. You think I'm fucking stupid, Hans?
You were saying?
Shit.
And Hans noticed that he was barefoot and tells Carl to
Shoot the glass.
Yeah.
He limps and drags himself into a bathroom, starts running the water, and is trying to get the glass out of his feet. And basically, you know, John's just beating himself up and like he's like, I got a bad feeling up here, Al. I don't think I'm gonna make it. Look, you know, find my wife. Don't ask me how. By then you'll know. Like, and then it's like, Mr. John McClain.
Of course, in the background too, Carl's on a murder spree,
Yeah.
or like on a ready murder spree, trying to find John.
I want the revenge.
And now I'm trying to remember. I'm so bad at remembering things. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. When was that?
That was right when he called himself Roy Rogers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, you think you are some kind of hero, like some kind of cowboy. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Okay.
Um,
Because at this point, it's like we're just listing off all the good lines, and I love it.
yeah, lots of good lines.
So many good lines.
And so, you know, it's like all that stuff. Al is on the walkie with him, and it's like, dude, I tried everything I could, and it's like, I believe you. You know, it's like, hey, don't listen to the boss up here. A lot of us field guys, you know, even though Al is technically a desk jockey, but it's like a lot of us believe in you. And also, there's the great part where he's trying to get the glass out of his foot, and he keeps like trying to take his mind off of it, but brings up feet. You know, it's like, hey Al, you ever like you flat-footed? And it's like, oh man, couldn't hack it in the field. What does it matter? Get cold feet. I shot a kid.
Ooh.
Huh?
Yeah.
I shot a kid. This was back when I was in Chicago. His name was Urkel.
Oh no.
Because it's the same guy who played the cop dad in Family Matters, so a lot of people like to think that he shot Urkel. Because honestly, that turns it from a tragedy into a hero act.
Did I do that?
I shot a kid. It was dark. He had a ray gun. It looked real enough. And the FBI show up. And basically, they're still assuming that Hans is a terrorist. As Al puts it, you know, they got the terrorist negotiated playbook, and they're reading it piece by piece.
Yeah.
And
FBI's like, all right, time to cut the power.
cut the power.
Conveniently, as it's like we got past the 6th lock.
Yeah, now we just need the miracle for the 7th. You asked for a miracle, I give you the FBI. I loved that part.
That was so good.
Where it's just like the villains get their moment, and it's just that's their thing where they're like, we've won.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's always so fun. And like there's even a bit of wind whipping their hair, which how? I love that.
Oh my god.
The comedy in this, like sometimes it's very dark comedy, but it's great.
It is so good. Oh my god, it's so good.
Because that's the funny thing. There's like, aside from maybe Argyle and the tech guy from Hans's gang, there's no real comedic relief character. Mm-hmm. Like, I guess you could kind of consider Ellis that, but he gets shot in the fucking head.
And he's like in what, like 3 scenes?
Yeah, he's a very minor character. So instead, just all of the characters have comedic potential.
Comedy is just a coping mechanism for so many people.
Tragedy plus time equal comedy.
Yeah.
Like that time your neck got broke.
Wasn't that, Carl? That was funny, wasn't it? Man, only a few hours ago, that was a tragedy, but now...
And now, I mean, your brother's death is hilarious. Which, speaking of that, John finds all the C4, figures out that the roof is ready to blow. Hans, by this point, has gotten the detonators back from John, who took them from the first guy. Mm-hmm. No, actually, the second guy. I think.
Mm-hmm. He's with the earlier demands made for the...
I want my detonators.
But this earlier...
Go fuck yourself, Hans.
It's like, hey, get my brothers and sisters out of these jails. He also said, we'll bring the
people to the roof, including us. And that's just playing into the FBI, because now the FBI think that they can do a double cross. Meanwhile, Hans is like, we're going to double cross their double cross. And John tries to warn that it's a double cross. Mm-hmm. But there's interference because Carl ambushes him, I believe.
Yeah.
And so they don't understand what he means. It's like, I don't know, all I got was double cross. And then the choppers show up, so they think that John just saw the choppers and is trying to warn them like that the FBI is doing that shit. Mm-hmm. But he's then having to fight Carl, and like, I love how Carl like puts the gun to his head and stuff like this, throws the walkie away, and like you can just see like John's beaten all to hell.
Yeah.
But like as he's like trying to let adrenaline take him again, he's just, it's just like, now I gotta fuck up this asshole. God damn it.
We are both professional. This is personal.
He is just so messed up at this point,
and so he basically just keeps like getting on this dude's back, trying to like knock him the fuck out, like he's screaming, just like, fuck her, I'll kill you.
Should have heard your brother squeal when I broke his fucking neck.
See, I told you it'd be funny. Like, so like, but you know, Carl's just dishing out the punishment, taking the punishment. But finally, John, who I keep wanting to just call Bruce, John like gets a chain around him and hangs him.
Oh yeah.
And that's the last we'll ever see of Carl.
Yeah, and again, there was a subtle thing that I didn't catch.
Yeah. The subtle thing is that when the chain was going around his neck, Carl got his hand in front of his neck. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't be choking him. It would still hurt like a son of a bitch, and he'd probably be knocked out, but...
But it's an action movie. Who cares?
Mm-hmm. Well, he did go unconscious for a bit.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, he goes to the roof where the people are being filed, and he's like, where the fuck is Holly? And it's like, they took her because they found out who you are and who she is because the dumbass newscasters put your kids on TV. You know, man, really hope Holly decks them later. And so, which I love the thing with Hans like that, because he just notices that Holly is looking absolutely fucking horrified that her kids are on the news about this. And so he, you know,
flips the
picture, sees that it's her and John, and is like, Mrs. McClain, click, you're coming with me.
Oh, no.
Pleasure to meet your acquaintance. And so, like, his gang starts to get the, like, borderless or bearerless, I forget what they're called, but there's some kind of bonds, like, it's like stock, in the company, because the whole point is they want to fake their deaths while also killing all the things. Basically, it's this whole tragedy, and they'll focus on that instead. Think that the terrorists are already dead. Meanwhile, they slip away, and by the time they figure out what went wrong, we'll be sipping Mai Tais, making 20%. You know? So they're basically trying to get dividends as the heist, which is smart. Why rob money that will eventually run out when you could
just live off
of one huge fucking heist?
Yeah.
It's a good plan. Too bad there was a cop.
A pissed cop.
A pissed action movie cop. And so, you know, he gets all the people off the roof. However, to do that, he fires the gun, and that makes everybody think that he's one of the terrorists who are in the copter. He makes them think that. So they start shooting at him. He has to wrap a fucking emergency fire hose around himself.
Oh, John, what the fuck are you doing? How the fuck did you get into this shit? I promise I will never even think about going up in a tall building again. Please don't let me die.
And jump off of the roof as it's exploding.
I was like, at that moment, I'm like, all right, here comes our action shot. Ah, boom.
Gets caught, hears that the thing is like kind of falling. He tries to get into the glass, has to shoot it, go through with his bare feet, lands on his back, is just sees the thing go whoosh, past the window. He's like, oh fuck, and starts untying it. And manages to get it there. He's limping like a son of a bitch. The whole building's coming down around him, and so he has to dive into the water. Comes out, he's all fucked, and you know he realizes that they've got Holly as a hostage. He's gonna have to do something tricky, and he's only got 2 bullets left. So he puts those bullets into a gun. Gets some fucking packaging tape that has Christmas trees on it. Puts it on his back, tapes it to the back, comes out and is holding the empty machine gun as a distraction, you know, as a sort of like
fool ya.
Yeah, as a card trick of sort.
Red herring?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you. I couldn't remember.
You're bad at remembering words, apparently.
Only when I'm doing like a long form of talk, because you know then my thoughts get all jumbled.
You know what? I understand. Anyway.
And that's why I made a podcast. And so, he's just like Hans, and like Holly is just like, oh my god, hey honey. And so, you know, he throws the gun away, acting like he's beat, and Hans goes, what was it you told me earlier? Ah, yes. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. and John starts just laughing as if he's defeated. And, you know, the two bad guys are like, fuck it is funny.
It's Christmas Eve. We're in a merry mood.
Yeah, it is funny because you're fucked. Uh-oh, back gun. Bangy bongy. Gets a headshot on the last jobber. And then shoots Hans. Hans starts going out of the window, but still has grip of Holly by her wrist, specifically on the watch that Ellis gave her.
Ooh.
And so John has to like jump over there, get rid of the watch. Meanwhile, Hans is like about to put the gun to his head, and then book. And I've always thought this was very interesting. The reaction that Alan Rickman gives is always seen as very genuine, and that's because it was.
Yep.
Because they didn't tell him when they were going to drop him. So they're just like, fuck!
Yeah, it was really good.
I think it was a thing where it's like he was waiting for one, they dropped him on two. Like something like that.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm. I would not blame him if he was fucking pissed.
Oh, I would. I'd be...
Like, because that's scary as shit.
Yeah.
It's like, you motherfuckers. Did it at least look good? Alright, I'm a little less mad, but I am pissed.
I'm gonna go cool off for a minute.
Yeah, I'd take 5. I need a brick. You're not getting me back up on there. Fuck you. Would not blame him. But yeah, so they do that. They finally manage to get out of the fucking building.
Yay.
And you know they meet up with Al,
and it's
like
oh,
they're hugging and everything,
like they're best
and then,
friends.
And then a scream is heard, and it's Carl. He's back for another round, baby.
He's fucking pissed.
He's pissed. He's got a gun. Oh shit! And then he gets shot a fuck ton of times, and it's Al behind the pistol, having found his determination back.
Yay, character development.
Al is filled with determination.
So in the book...
And then we ride off.
Yeah.
In a limousine driven by Argyle, going, if this is how you guys celebrate Christmas, I gotta be here for New Year's. And it ends with Let It Snow as the ash falls.
Let it snow.
So how's the book end?
It ends really depressing. All in all, his daughter dies... And
gets killed by the bad guy?
Oh yeah, gets the bad bad guy dies. The money that they were trying to get out still falls out anyway, so the bad guys kind of got a part of what they wanted. But the fact that his daughter died and it was just a really rough night. He's just like, man, this sucked. But Al did do the final shot in that one too.
Yeah.
But what happened before that was Carl went to shoot John or Joe, and the police, the guy that was in charge before the FBI came along, he took the bullet for him.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but no, he's just a pissy old rah, 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 rah in this movie.
I mean, I guess he's kind of a comic relief character.
You
know, because he's got big small dog energy.
He looked familiar. I think
I've seen him in other stuff.
Yeah.
I think he was another like TV dad probably. He kind of looks like one.
Here, let me take a look here real quick because I'm interested. That's Alan Rickman. Let's look at that.
But yeah, so as someone who had never seen this before, let's settle this debate. Is this a Christmas movie or not?
This is not a Christmas movie. This is a Christmas Eve movie, Scott, and this will be playing in the Arias household every Christmas Eve from this year forward.
Kat, you uneducated slut, Christmas Eve movies are Christmas movies. Christmas movies are for the whole fucking month.
Oh, God, it's December 2nd at time of recording, but really it's just Christmas 2nd.
Christmas the 2nd.
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday was the start of the 25 Days of Christmas on ABC.
But it's a Christmas movie. The movie points it out in your face so many times, like, oh, hey, Christmas. Oh, hey, Christmas. Oh, hey, Christmas.
But so many people are like, but it's not a traditional Christmas movie. There's blood. There's action. That's not Christmas. I'm like, yeah, because Christmas has to be boring and bullshit every time.
No, I don't want to watch a Hallmark movie about Johnny and Karen reconciling over the mistletoe. No!
Yeah. It's like, Hallmark presents busy businesswoman that's too busy for love.
Yeah.
But maybe she'll find it this Christmas. And also, she has one gay friend.
I was going to say, pick your variety of bland white man.
Yeah. I think that there's a movie either coming out soon or it already released that's kind of a play on that, where the couple is a lesbian couple and one of them isn't out, and that's the one whose family they're going to. So the whole movie is her having to pretend to be her orphaned friend. Like orphaned roommate friend. Meanwhile, it's like, fuck it, we're gay. Just say that we're gay. And I'm like, okay, at least that's an interesting take on that idea.
Yeah.
It still very much looks like the bare bones storyline, just they gender swapped one of the people.
It's still better than like, oh, we just don't like the in-laws because.
Yeah, but like and I haven't seen the movie, I've only seen the trailer. So if they go heavier into that, like, you know, what matters more, like blind acceptance or, you know, them knowing who you actually are and stuff like that. If it goes more into that, I'm all here for it because that's cool.
Yeah.
But if it's not, and that's basically just an excuse for it being like it's not a guy this time, then
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the fucking, like, every Hallmark movie is like a John Mulaney joke.
Oh.
You know, it's just like the busy businesswoman who's too busy at her business. And the guy who only thinks about sports. You sold your daughter's college fund money? I had to get some tickets for the game.
Gross.
There was also, I forget what it was called. It might have just been called like Meet Cute Movie or something like that. But it was a parody of that. And like there's the thing where they're just all passing the basketball. Like they're not trying to actually throw hoops. They're just passing the basketball. And it's like, hey man, what do you think? Should I date this girl? Well, as your token black friend, I think.
I remember this scene. I don't remember the movie.
Yeah, I don't remember if it actually ever became a movie or if it was just a trailer joke.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing the trailer and I'm like, I hope that's a real movie because I want to see that someday. And then I just never heard about it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I love Die Hard. I think it's one of my favorite Christmas movies just because it's not the traditional one.
It's fun. It's different.
And it's well fucking made.
Oh my God. Again, I was just thinking the entire time, like, I'm like, there's just little things I want to look back and see again.
Yeah.
It's the characters are excellent and get very good development. The action scenes are awesome. All the actors did a fantastic job of portraying like what their character is supposed to be. Yeah. And I'm just,
I mean, to be fair, that wasn't Bruce Willis's first time playing a cop. That was in Moonlighting, which was a TV show / movie.
But yeah, this is definitely,
and that was more of a comedy.
This is definitely going to be a continued watch for me. Like, I've said it before on the podcast, but Holes was a movie that I always adored because I always caught something different each and every time I watched it. And I feel like Die Hard will be this, like, this next one for me because a movie hasn't grasped me like that hard in a while.
Yeah. If we ever get to the point where, like, you know, we have enough of a following, which, hey, if you guys want what I'm about to say to happen, spread the word. Because eventually I would love to have it where we just have like some portion of the list, like anything that we're thinking about, you know, like here's the options that we're thinking. And then we just do like a fucking Twitter poll, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, what should we watch? And it votes on that.
Oh, that would be so fun.
I definitely think if Holes ever got on there, that would definitely be a reverse, like a role reversal here where you know more about it. And I saw it once and fucking hated it. I fucking hated that movie. Granted, I was like, what? When did that movie come out?
Oh God, I think I was still in elementary or like
yeah,
early
it was
school.
It was young. So like I probably wasn't paying the best attention because of ADD, but I was just like, I can't fucking follow this story, and what I can follow is boring as shit.
And again, I felt the same way when I watched it the first time, but then I caught it on Disney Channel a few more times later when I was less of a stupid child. Because ADD wasn't my ADHD wasn't my problem with that movie. It was just me being a dumb kid, not understanding things. But then as I got older and understand things more, I'm like, okay, I kind of follow this now. And then it would be on over and over and over. And I'd be like, okay, I'll watch this again.
Yeah.
And then me and my brother would just sit together and be like, oh, wait, did you see that? And we would just make the connections together. That was like probably one of my favorite.
Literally the only reason I went to go see it was because the dude from Even Stevens was in it.
Yeah. Right.
That was it. That was the only reason I gave a shit. I was like, I like Even Stevens.
Yeah, I remember I saw it on a field trip with my after-school program when I was in I think it was fourth grade.
Your after-school program took you to movies?
It was a very rare occurrence.
Mine never did. Well, sometimes we watched movies, but it was like stuff on a TV on the VHS.
Mostly,
and that was Homeward Bound.
Mostly it was chilling in like the recreation room. They had a Nintendo 64 that people would try to take turns doing.
Fucking City Slickers.
And then,
we had crayons.
And then they would take us to the gymnasium upstairs where we'd be stuck the entire time. And I was always bored there and it was hot.
We had crayons and play school toys.
Yeah. Well, this was the fourth grade room. The kids' room had their own separate stuff.
Yeah, I'm not talking about preschool anymore.
Oh.
I'm talking about elementary.
Oof.
There's the only thing that was good there is that they had a printer and they would print out coloring book pages, and I just asked for every Captain America one they had.
Yeah.
And I would just color that.
But no, we did stuff like that on a very rare occasion.
Yeah. And now like the summer program, then we did stuff like that, but it was never a movie. It was like either go to the free community pool, and I would just swim there, and then, there would come a time where it's like Adult Swim, and everybody would be going to get snacks in the vending machine, but I had no money, so I couldn't do that. So I'd just sit there, hungry. Or it would be going to the State Museum and seeing the same fucking shit.
Yeah, at least Chicago, at least...
Because granted, this was before the Presidential Museum was here. Weirdly, though, they never took us to the Dana Thomas House. They never took us to the old state capitol. Never took us to... And they might have taken us to Lincoln's tomb once. Which, that's kind of a fucked up thing to do now that I think about it. Hey, kids, here's a thing that'll probably make you realize that someday you're gonna die.
See, again, I feel spoiled considering my elementary school was closed. Like, we could go to Lincoln Park Zoo, which was free. You are spoiled. We had Brookfield Zoo, the Shedd Aquarium.
Now, okay.
My elementary school was 10 minutes away from Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
So
Springfield has no aquarium. Now, granted, we did go to the zoo a couple times, and that is why the Henson Robinson Zoo of Springfield, Illinois. I don't know if they still have it. I haven't been there in a long time. Because why? It will forever be stuck in my head. It'll be deliriously being sung by me as I die. It's like they had this thing where they had like these little plastic blue things that had an animal head in them, right? And you would stick that into a thing, and it would give you trivia and information about the animal. But if you didn't have that and you press the button, it would say, what animal makes this noise? And it would be the animal noise. And obviously you'd know that because there's the fucking animal right there. And it's like, and then it had a little jingle of like, to find out you'll need a zoo key like the one that's on this spot. And there was like a little one in a glass case that I constantly tried to break into. And I just remember that so many times. And one year, my mom was like, oh, hey, you go to the zoo during the summer program, right? And I'm like, yeah. Well, I've got you a zoo key. And I was like, oh, I have the power. And I was suddenly hot shit that summer because I just had it around my neck. And everybody was like, oh, dude, do the thing. And I went, click, and then pressed the button. And we were like, wah! And then I tried to do it again the next year. And apparently they changed the codes.
Aww.
Which makes sense because that means people have to buy them again. But fuck that.
Aww.
I was cool for one summer. I don't even think they have them anymore. Because why would they? People have the internet on their phones now. But
but hey, on the opposite end, I didn't live in the best neighborhood, so at the very least you could just go walk outside and not have to worry.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I lived very close to a highway in a not so safe neighborhood, so couldn't do that shit.
Yeah.
Kind of on the supervision of my mom.
Well.
Constantly.
Yeah. The only problem with that is that where did I have to go?
Your friend's house?
That was literally across the street.
Yeah, but I wouldn't, my mom would have not let me cross the street in Chicago by myself.
And by across the street, I mean behind me. It was 2 backyards, and then I was there. Like, so not even really crossing traffic. I had to cross a gutter. Mm-hmm. Or not a gutter, but a ditch.
But it was the wildest shit to me when I moved out to Plainfield, and I'm like, wait, I could just go take my bike and just ride wherever I want? Mm-hmm. Yo, that's cool.
Yeah. But yeah. I forget how we got on this topic.
But but in case our editor needs to cut some of this bullshit out, to basically sum up my thoughts on this, I love this movie. It will be rewatched many times through the rest of my life, and I am putting this movie on Christmas Eve. The second I walk into my parents' house and be like, Dad, we're watching this right now. Tell me why you hate this movie. Click.
Yeah, because in case everyone hasn't remembered since the beginning of the podcast, her dad doesn't like this movie, thinks it's silly, thinks it's unrealistic, and I'm like, I mean, for an action movie, it holds its P's and Q's. It has consistency.
Very much so.
Yeah, do you have to fudge a little bit of the suspension of disbelief to think that he can still keep going on adrenaline? Sure. But also, people have done crazy fucking shit. So,
And I'll try to record any thoughts if I can get to it.
Hell yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully there will be a video of that, in a holiday montage.
Oh yeah,
because we're working on something for that.
My dad, but I don't think I'll be able to record him. The second the camera goes off, he'll be
sneaky with it.
Okay,
be sneaky.
We'll have to blur his face. He's gonna be like, oh.
That's fine. I can do that.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah. So one Christmas movie down. We've got another one to go. So next time, Home Alone.
All right.
We'll see the adventures of child psychopath Kevin.
Yeah, I've always heard he's a psycho. But I can't wait to see. Until then, thanks for listening. This is Out of the Ice. I'm Kat.
I'm Scott. You can reach us at Out of the Ice Pod 1 at Twitter. Mm-hmm. I am MutagenWorks at Twitter. I now have a webcomic based on one of my favorite game franchises, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, one of the only game series that has ever had a title that made me cry.
Yep, it's actually pretty funny stuff. Some of your stuff that you've been working on has given me a really good laugh. So
yeah. We've got 3 pages out right now at the time of this recording. I've got a ton of sketches that I plan to turn into digital art and then send out into the ether. Don't really have a time schedule for it. I'm trying to keep it kind of chill and casual.
But yeah, follow Scott for all of his art stuff.
Yeah, and you need to get working on Twitter and Instagram because we now have an Instagram account, but nothing's on it yet.
Yep, I gotta work out some details on that, but be on the lookout for that.
Our Miss Kathleen here is getting her very own work PC. So she's getting a full bad boy PC like we have here, like we do with the gaming videos on Kingdom of Geek Galon that I have. She's getting one for her space, and she says, hey, throw me some old videos, throw me some old podcast files, and I'll make some clips. I'll edit it together.
Throw it on the Instagrams.
Throw it on the Instagram to help show people what we're getting in a little bite-sized taste before they subscribe.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do. We're at 22 subscribers at the beginning of this, and we're slowly chugging away, and I appreciate everybody we got, but let's keep it going.
Let's get that subscribe train going.
Yeah, and at the moment, we are small enough that if you comment, I'll probably reply.
Reply and like.
Yeah, by the time that comments start actually going haywire, I can't promise to keep doing that because I'm not Flash. But
you'll have that special moment forever.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that's it for us. Happy holidays, everyone. We'll see you again in 2 weeks.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.